You're still waiting, aren't you? Waiting for someone to tell you it's okay. Waiting for approval. Waiting for the world to give you permission to become who you're supposed to be. That permission is never coming. The people you're waiting for, they don't want you to rise. They want you to stay where you are, manageable, predictable, small. And every day you wait for their blessing, you hand them power over your life. I am Thomas Shelby, and today I'll teach you what happens when you stop asking permission. When you stop needing approval. When you stop waiting for support that was never coming. When you build your life on your own terms, answering to no one. Learn this and you'll become the most dangerous kind of man, one who cannot be controlled. Listen carefully. This is the lesson that sets you free. From the moment you were born, you were trained to ask permission. Permission to speak, permission to leave, permission to try, permission to want. Your parents, your teachers, your bosses, society itself, they all taught you the same lesson. Wait for approval before you move. And you learned it well, too well. Now you're grown. No one's standing over you with rules anymore. But the training stayed. The cage door is open, but you're still sitting inside, waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to leave. That's the permission trap. You want to start something new, but first you need someone to believe in you. You want to change your life, but first you need support. You want to speak your truth, but first you need to know it won't upset anyone. So you wait, and you hint, and you test the waters, looking for a sign, looking for validation, looking for someone to say, yes you can. And while you wait, your life passes, your dreams gather dust, your potential rots. I stopped asking permission a long time ago. When I came back from France, broken and burning, no one gave me permission to build an empire. No one told me I could rise from the mud of small heath and become something. If I had waited for approval, I'd still be shoveling coal. I gave myself permission. I decided what I was going to become, and then I became it, whether the world approved or not. That's the only way anything gets built. Let's dig into this. Why do you need their permission so badly? Why does their approval feel so necessary? It's not weakness, not exactly. It's something deeper. You've been taught that your worth comes from outside, that you're only valuable if others say so, that your ideas only matter if someone else validates them. This was useful when you were a child. Children need guidance. They need adults to help them navigate a world they don't understand. But you're not a child anymore. And that programming, that constant need to check with others before you trust yourself, it's destroying you. Every time you ask for permission, you send a message to your own mind. I don't trust my own judgment. I need someone else to confirm I'm right. Do that enough times, and you stop trusting yourself entirely. You become dependent on external validation, like an addict depends on a substance. You can't make a move without checking first. You can't feel confident without someone else's approval. That's not a man. That's a puppet. And the strings are held by whoever you've given the power to approve or reject you. I answer to myself. When I make a decision, I don't poll the room. I don't wait for consensus. I assess. I decide. I act. If I'm wrong, I adjust. But the authority stays with me. That's where power lives. Not in being right all the time. In being the one who decides. Here's something you need to understand. The people you're waiting for permission from, many of them don't want you to succeed. Not because they're evil, not because they hate you, because your rise threatens their comfort. When you stay small, you're safe to be around. You don't challenge them, you don't remind them of what they're not doing. You fit neatly into the role they've assigned you. But the moment you stop asking permission, the moment you start building without their blessing, something shifts. They feel it, and it makes them uncomfortable. Suddenly, your ambition is a mirror reflecting their stagnation. Your courage exposes their fear. Your movement reveals their paralysis. So they discourage you, subtly usually, not with direct attacks, but with doubt dressed as concern. Are you sure you're ready for that? Don't you think you should wait a little longer? I just don't want to see you get hurt. These sound like care. They're not. They're anchors, designed to keep you at their level, designed to protect them from the discomfort of watching you outgrow them. I learned to recognize these voices, the ones who questioned every move I made, the ones who always found reasons to wait, to slow down, to reconsider. They weren't protecting me, they were protecting themselves. So I stopped listening, I stopped asking, I moved, and I let them deal with their discomfort on their own time. That's when everything changed. Let me tell you what happens when you stop asking permission. At first, it feels wrong, uncomfortable, like you're breaking rules that shouldn't be broken. That's the programming fighting back. That's years of conditioning screaming that you need approval before you act. Ignore it. Push through that discomfort, and something opens up, a space you've never felt before, a freedom that's almost terrifying. Because suddenly you realize you can just do things. You can start the project without anyone's support. You can leave the situation without anyone's blessing. You can change your entire life without a single person telling you it's okay. The gatekeepers you feared, they only had power because you gave it to them. The moment you stop asking, their power evaporates. I built everything I have without permission. No one told me I could run Birmingham. No one approved my expansion into London. No one blessed my deals, my moves, my methods. I saw what I wanted. I made a plan. I executed. And when people tried to stop me, when they told me I was overreaching, that I should know my place, I didn't argue. I didn't ask them to reconsider. I just kept building. That's the secret. You don't need to fight the gatekeepers. You don't need to convince them. You just need to stop acknowledging their authority. Build around them. Build over them. Build until they're irrelevant. When you need people, they own you. This is a law as old as power itself. The man who needs approval can be controlled by withholding it. The man who needs support can be controlled by threatening to withdraw it. The man who needs validation can be manipulated by anyone willing to give or deny it. Need is a leash, and whoever holds the other end can pull you wherever they want. I've watched men with talent, with vision, with everything required to succeed. I've watched them crumble because they needed someone's blessing. They needed their father's approval, so they lived a life designed to earn it, never realizing it would never come. They needed their partner's support, so they shrank their dreams to fit someone else's comfort zone. They needed their friend's validation, so they stayed small, stayed safe, stayed acceptable. And at the end, they looked back at a life that wasn't theirs, a life shaped by the needs they couldn't escape. I refused to carry that weight. I built my life so that I don't need anyone's permission to keep living it. My plans don't require approval. My happiness doesn't require validation. My direction doesn't require consensus. That's not isolation. I have people around me, allies, family, those I trust. But I don't need them to function. I don't need their yes to move forward. And because I don't need them, I can actually choose them freely, without desperation, without the hidden contract of dependency. That's the difference between a partnership and a prison. In partnerships, you choose to be together. In prisons, you need to be together. Make sure you know which one you're in. The man who can walk away from anything holds all the power. Think about that. In any negotiation, any relationship, any situation, the one who needs it least controls it most. If you need the deal, they set the terms. If you need the relationship, they set the rules. If you need the job, they decide your worth. But if you can walk away, if you've built a life where nothing is so essential that losing it would break you, then you negotiate from strength. Then you stay only because you choose to, not because you have to. Then no one can threaten you with loss because you've already made peace with losing. This is self-sufficiency as power, not isolation, not coldness, strategic independence. I can walk away from any deal. I've structured my business so that no single partner, no single client, no single opportunity holds power over me. If one door closes, I have others. If one relationship sours, I continue. That's not luck. That's design. I built redundancy into everything. Multiple income sources, multiple alliances, multiple paths to every goal, so that I never find myself dependent on something I can't control. You should do the same. Look at your life. Where are you dependent? Where would losing one thing, one person, one job, one source of income devastate you? Those are your vulnerabilities. Those are the places where others hold power over you. Start building alternatives. Start creating options. Start developing the ability to walk away from anything. That's when you stop being controllable. That's when you become truly free. They'll tell you that independence is lonely, that you need people, that humans aren't meant to walk alone. That connection is what makes life worth living. And they're not entirely wrong. But they misunderstand what independence means. Independence doesn't mean isolation. It doesn't mean cutting everyone off and living like a hermit. It means not needing anyone so badly that you lose yourself trying to keep them. I have people in my life, people I love, people I trust, people I would die for. But I don't need them to feel whole. I don't need their approval to know my worth. I don't need their presence to survive. That's not coldness, that's health. When you need someone desperately, you can't love them properly. You cling, you control, you suffocate, because you're not loving them. You're using them to fill a hole in yourself. But when you're complete on your own, you can love freely. You can give without keeping score. You can be with someone because you want to be, not because you'd fall apart without them. That's the paradox. The less you need people, the better you can love them. The more independent you are, the more genuine your connections become. So don't fear the loneliness they warn you about. What they're really warning you about is the discomfort of growth, the difficulty of building a self that doesn't require constant propping up from others. Walk through that discomfort, build that self, and on the other side, you'll find a different kind of connection, one based on choice, not need, on strength, not desperation. That's the kind worth having. Let me tell you what actually happens when you stop asking permission. At first, people are confused. They're not used to you moving without checking first. They'll ask questions. They'll express concern. They'll try to pull you back into the old pattern. Let them. Then comes resistance. Some will be threatened by your independence. They'll criticize. They'll warn you. They'll predict failure. They need you to fail, because your success would prove that they've been living wrong. Let them talk. Then comes distance. Some people will fall away. The ones who were only around because you were easy to manage, easy to advise, easy to control. When you stop asking permission, you stop being useful to them. Let them go. And then, after the confusion, the resistance, something else happens. Respect. Not from everyone. The weak will always resent the strong, but from the ones who matter, from the ones who recognize strength when they see it. When you stop asking permission, You stop being a follower. You become someone who moves on their own authority. And authority, real authority, commands respect in a way that approval-seeking never can. I've watched it happen in my own life. The same men who doubted me, questioned me, tried to hold me back. They came around eventually, not because I convinced them, because I stopped caring whether they agreed and just kept building. Results speak louder than arguments. Success silences doubt. Stop asking, start building, and watch how the world rearranges itself around your certainty. Here's the truth that sets you free. You don't need their permission. You never did. You need your own. The only approval that matters is the one you give yourself. The only authority that counts is the one you claim. So claim it. Right now, today, give yourself permission to be who you're supposed to be. Permission to chase what you want without apology. Permission to cut what's holding you back without guilt. Permission to fail, to stumble, to look foolish, and to get back up and keep going anyway. Permission to build the life you want, not the life others find acceptable. This isn't arrogance, it's ownership. It's taking responsibility for your existence instead of outsourcing it to people who don't have to live with the consequences. I gave myself permission a long time ago. Permission to rise from nothing. Permission to become dangerous. Permission to build an empire in a world that wanted me to stay in the mud. And every day I renew that permission. Every morning I remind myself, I don't need their blessing. I have my own. That's the daily practice. That's the discipline. Because the old programming will try to creep back. The need for approval doesn't die easily. You'll catch yourself hesitating, waiting, looking for validation. When that happens, stop. Remind yourself, I already have permission, my own. Then move. When you truly stop needing approval, something shifts in how people see you. They sense it. Maybe they can't name it, but they feel it. You walk into a room and there's something different. A calmness, a certainty, an energy that says, I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to earn your approval. I'm here because I chose to be, and I'll leave when I choose to leave. That energy is rare, and it's magnetic. Because in a world full of people seeking validation, the man who doesn't need it stands out. He's not grasping, he's not performing, he's not trying to be liked. He just is. And that confidence, that self-contained completeness, it draws people in more than any approval seeking ever could. Funny how that works. The less you need them, the more they want you. The less you seek approval, the more they respect you. The less desperate you are for connection, the more genuine connections you attract. That's the reward for walking this path. Not just freedom from needing others, but becoming someone others are drawn to. Not through manipulation, not through performance, through simple, quiet self-sufficiency. The man who cannot be controlled becomes the man everyone wants on their side. That's real power, and it starts the moment you stop asking permission. Now you understand. You've been waiting for a permission that was never coming, seeking approval from people who benefit from your dependence, asking for blessings from those who'd rather you stayed small. That ends now. From today, you stop waiting, you stop asking, you stop needing. You give yourself the only permission that matters, your own, and you build on that foundation, no matter who approves or disapproves. This is your life, your vision, your war. And you don't need anyone's blessing to fight it. If someone you know is stuck in the permission trap, waiting, hoping, seeking approval that will never come, send them this. Share it with a friend who needs to hear that they already have everything they need to start. Because the man who stops asking permission becomes untouchable. No one can control him. No one can hold him back. No one can decide his worth but himself. And that man builds empires while others are still waiting to be told it's okay. You're not waiting anymore. You're becoming a legend.